Diego Lizarazo, and right now I am going to start the presentation with the Samsung Developer Program. And I'm going to start introducing myself. I'm a developer evangelist with Samsung, and today we're going to be talking a lot about the Galaxy Store, about how to bring your games to the Galaxy Store, and also the Samsung InApp Purchase SDK, and a lot of things. So we have a lot of content next 45 minutes or so. And if you have any questions, we're going to try to respond some of them by the end of the presentation. We're going to try to see how that goes in the chat. But if not, we are going to invite you to join us in the Samsung virtual booth after this presentation. And if you are a game developer, also to set some one-on-one meetings with us. And we're going to do that during the rest of the event and afterwards. But well, let's get started. So Samsung knows that the story of the Galaxy Store and the story of pretty much all the technologies that we have to do with developers. That's where it starts. And my team, the Samsung developer team, pretty much helps you to start and go through the entire process of creating your own applications, your own games, and how to develop them, how to launch them, maintain them, and make them grow. So we a big part of our role is to connect with the developer community, try to bring you all the right content, all the right links, and all the right support that you may need to create those games, and always thinking about like that developers come first. So now Shelly, she's going to join us for a couple of minutes, and she's going to tell us a little bit more about the Galaxy Store, and then we're going to launch the first demo of the day.
Thanks, Diego. So Galaxy Store comes preloaded on all our flagship Samsung devices, and as you can see, it's available in 188 countries. So it has a pretty good reach, and it's great for engaging users who are looking for something different than the normal Google Play Store. I'll go into kind of the different assets that we use to promote games, but here's kind of a general overview of kind of the different options we have. We recently rebranded and relaunched the Galaxy Store to include some new feature display options, but I'll page going to the far left screenshot where you see the Pokemon Go 10% off all in-app purchases. That's a push notification that we use to directly promote and market different games that we have in the store directly to mobile device users. And when users click on that push notification, they're taken directly to the app detail page for that game where they can download. Second from the left, you see another screenshot with the Free Fire's where it says Booyah and it's 10% off all in-app purchases. That's another promotion tool that we offer where it's a full page takeover. And when users enter the store, that's what they're greeted with for whatever's merchandise that week. And if they click on that, it again takes them to the app detail page to download. And Diego, if we could go into the store demo so I can kind of go through. Yeah, and so like I mentioned before, the Galaxy Store comes pre-downloaded on your mobile device and so on the home screen. So as you can see here, you can easily just click into the Galaxy Store. And we have two tabs, one for apps and one for games. Today we'll kind of focus on games. One of the new display options that we introduced is this EGP video at the top. As you can see, it's for an app, not a game, but right now our games tab is the only one with this capability. And so we usually highlight games here or apps. And it's if you provide kind of a really great video, we can feature it up here to kind of engage users a little more and kind of showcase what your game is about. And as you can see, there's an install button. So once they're done watching or even halfway through watching, they can immediately just quickly install the game if they're interested. And if we keep scrolling down, another way that we promote games is through these main big banners on the top. As you can see, they kind of scroll left to right, and we usually have 9 at most at the top. And what's really great is you kind of can be spotlighted for that week, depending on our merchandising plan. And we like to feature anything with kind of really creative assets. If there's in-game events, if there's any sort of discounted offer that's exclusive to Samsung users, or any games with kind of like really great IAP revenue. And if we could go to the Fortnite editorial that we currently have featured, if you keep scrolling through, another way that we spotlight games is through editorial content. And so here we're currently highlighting Fortnite because Epic Games is kind of a different download procedure than other games in order to get to the Fortnite game. So we're just kind of like guiding the user through the steps to download the game. And if you scroll down to the bottom, after reading, there's usually an app download button where then users can easily download the game. If we go back to the games tab, we also have scrolling down, you can see kind of all the different ways that we feature our game partners. Or so, like for example, Asphalt 9 currently has a British car event. What performs really well is assets that speak to a special event in the game versus evergreen. If we keep scrolling down, you can see another way we highlight is going up, back up a little, back up to spotlight games. This is a different way. We have a collection where we're also highlighting screenshots from within the game, and this gets pulled directly from the app detail page of that game. So make sure you have really kind of high quality graphics that we can pull, and it entices users. And as you can see, there's an app download button directly under the screenshots. And then you can see also there's a bigger banner size for Candy Crush here. That's another banner size we use to highlight games. And usually we feature something with a big banner there if they have, an in-game event or some sort of seasonal promotion. So if users click on that banner, it takes them directly to the app download page. We also have personalization algorithms. As you can see, Diego here plays a lot of city-related games, and so that's kind of based on whatever our algorithm is pulling. And if you keep scrolling down, going to kind of our collections. These are kind of ways to escape kind of saturation that you get when you're in the Google Play Store or the App Store. These are all manually curated by our merchandising team. If we click into Action and Adventure, you can see there's games that all are related to action and adventure, and there's no more than 20 games at one time. So rather than kind of having users scroll through a really big catalog of games, we select ones that we think kind of have great graphics or a compelling gameplay, and are recently updated. So as long as you're kind of making sure your game is high quality and updated, the possibility of being selected to these curated collections are much higher. And we can go back to the games act another way, and then just throughout this whole tab, it's just different ways we're featuring with kind of everything I've gone over. Diego, if you can click on the gift box up top by the search button. Something that's also unique to the Galaxy Store, and it enables more user discovery for your games, is this promotion tab. And this is where we really highlight all of our ongoing promotions. Sometimes when we have too many at once, we kind of try to limit it and pick our top ones for that week. But as you can see, what's really great about being in a cross-platform ecosystem, as well as just being just working with Samsung, is we work with our other Samsung service partners, such as Samsung Rewards, so to feature games. So right now we're doing a promotion where using your Samsung Rewards, you can kind of cash those in as points in Pokemon Go. There's also just kind of a Winning Wednesday spin the wheel promotion right now, which again, you can win points to use in the store. And then as you can see on the bottom, Forza Street, we also highlight any game that has Samsung exclusive offers. And you can definitely guarantee getting onto the promotion page when you offer kind of like an in-game gift or a special discount, just for the Galaxy Store. And so for kind of, if you're interested and you have more questions, you can head to the Samsung Developer Virtual booth, and I'll turn it back to Diego for now. Thank you.
Perfect. Thank you very much, Shelley. And so now this other part that we're going to check here, I'm going to combine a little bit. a few slides, but a lot of this we're going to be doing directly on the Galaxy Store. So we're going to get it started, and is if you want to create games and you want to publish them in the Galaxy Store, how do you do that? So we're going to go through the process, and then we're going to check the in-app purchase SDK and what do you do in the Galaxy Store to be able to get that going. So well, here first we get like some important highlights that you may get if you're interested in uh, working with us. But the most important thing you can get in this part and pretty much from the entire presentation is that Samsung is a global has a global audience. So whenever you work with us, you're not just going to be reaching one or two countries. You're going to be reaching hundreds of countries, like Shelly mentioned, and also on top of that, you are going to talk about a multi-platform ecosystem. So that's something that I would like you to learn. Now, this is going to be the publishing process, and we're going to check most of this. I have a few slides of for some of them, but really we're going to check most of them directly in the Galaxy Store. So first thing you're going to do is register on the seller portal. Then you are going to, if you want to sell games, if you want to charge for them, or if you have any in-app purchase items, you have to request your commercial seller status. So we're going to check that. Then you can register the items that you're going to be charged for. You can do some testing of those items. There's going to be a certification process, and this is something that I really like to mention because unlike some of the other stores, we are a boutique store, and what that means is that we're really looking forward to have good quality of all the apps and all the games that we're publishing there. So there is going to be an actual certification team that is going to check at your app and is going to really make certain that it looks good. And well, if it's a game that works in with certain characteristics, that's kind of the kind of thing that you should let them know, because there is going to be really a person behind this entire process. And if they find some sort of errors, sometimes they can get back to you and let you know what's wrong. And finally, well, you're going to be live in the Galaxy Store. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to be jumping through several browsers just to show you the different things that you can do. The first thing is if you're going to register on the Galaxy Store, you can sign in with a Samsung account or you can sign up now. So we're going to do that. So well, it tells you like, hey, you can do a Samsung account. So you can continue with Google. So if you have a Google developer account, you can do that. Or, well, you can sign here, but pretty much it's the kind of process that you are going to expect, and it's just kind of like ask you for email, password, and general information. So this is what you are going to expect from signing up for any service, any app store. So this is going to take you a couple of minutes. I'm assuming that you know most of this information. And then you are going to immediately be inside of the Galaxy Store. So this is going to be free. You don't have to pay any fee to create your account. And I'm going to jump to two different accounts that, of course, you sign me out. I created two accounts for this presentation. So one of them would be pretty much the, let me see, there. So the first one is going to be an account how you would see the Galaxy Store as soon as you sign in for the first time after you created it. So it does not have a commercial seller account. So this is something that I'm going to show you. And you can immediately start creating applications for free. So like we're going to check that process, but in this case, I could create for the Galaxy Watch, for Android. And if I, in the future, also add for themes, then I would get that option. Now, in this one, the other account, I did have already my commercial distribution seller account, and this is something that I recommend that everyone is going to do from the get-go. If you know that you're going to be charging for your games, if there's any kind of money involved in your activity as a developer, I think it's better that you do it right away. And that's why, because it's going to take a couple of days. So we're going to check that. We're going to start with that. And I'm going to say yes. And a lot of the information that they're going to ask you here is just personal information. So your name. So of course, I just create a John Doe. just to make certain that is super generic, and it's going to ask you personal information, address, which country you're in, and a phone number and email. It's also going to be there. Financial information is a little bit important, so you are going to need a way to receive the money you're going to get from the Galaxy Store if someone pays for your game or for any of the items in your game. So that's why we're going to ask you for a bank account or a PayPal. So if you are not doing any, if you just want to publish free games, you don't have to fill this. You can just right away, like 5 minutes after you create your account, start submitting a game. Okay? So, but if you want to charge for your game, so then you have two options. So bank account. So that one is a little bit more complicated because, well, it's a bank. So usually they are a little bit more complicated to work with. I prefer the PayPal account. And here, the only thing that you have to do is pretty much to log into your PayPal account. So like last time that I did it in the other account that I'm going to show you, it took me just 2 minutes. So it just kind of like log in, so your email password, and then it's going to connect. So it's going to link the account. The other thing that is important here is that you need a copy of your passport or your ID card. So all these steps usually you find in different places. Any help whenever you think that there is something that needs to be clarified there. But here's pretty much just an image that shows your ID card or your passport depending on where you live. And if you need something to tell the certification team, you're always going to find some space like this at the end of all the processes that we're going to have here in the Galaxy Store, just letting the person know, hey, I would like you to check this or that. So sometimes that can help their job, and then you're going to get a response much faster. And this is something that could take a couple of days, and that's why I recommend that you do it from the get-go. So if you want to publish a game right away and it's paid, it takes you less time if you start the process in parallel to submit your game. So in this case, I'm not going to request it, so I'm going to leave it there. And I'm just going to go back to the home in this one. Now, we're going to go to the process of submitting a game. Let's suppose that you already have your game, you have an APK that you can submit, you created that with Unreal, you created that with Unity, you use, I don't know, Phaser and Cordova to be able to export it for, as well, create an APK. So all that. And I'm going to do it in parallel. So like the free account and the seller account, just to show a small difference. So the first thing is that you're going to say Android, English in this case. I'm going to jump for that. And then here you're going to have several tabs that you are going to need to fill. Okay. So the first one, the app information, is pretty much the general information that you're going to need. So a title for the game, a description, which is really important because this is what players, gamers are going to see in the store when they are looking for your game. So everything that you put here could entice them to download the game or not. If you just say kind of like, hey, this is a game, then that is not as attractive as saying like, hey, this is a roguelike game, or is a first-person shooter, or is, I don't know, tower defense, whatever it is, and then you can put more information here. So this is quite important that you fill it. The same with icons and screenshots. You will upload that those images. It tells you the size that you need for each one of them. And also, depending on the type of, because we're not talking just about games, it could be any kind of icon application. Then you could also upload applications that go for the edge screen that you can use on the Samsung Galaxy devices, or even one that is both, pretty much. So you can use both. So you can do that. If not, just fill the icon that you have here. After that, you should get into the category. So of course, in this case, we're talking about games. And then you have several subcategories that quite likely you saw when Shelly was making her demo. And you should pick the correct one. And well, if you do so, you're going to have a better chance to be highlighted, that you're in the right one. So I'm going to go for my favorite role-playing game. Age restriction, that obviously depends on the content of your game. Some countries are a little bit more strict than others, but you obviously what it is. So it's a mature game. If you have any doubts, you have a link that is going to help you to figure out what is it that you need to do that. And if you have for your game already some sort of certificate for your content, different countries, different continents have different certificates, you can upload them here. Okay, so that's pretty much a file, and it tells you like, hey, this is the one that, for example, is in Europe mostly, and this one is used um, in Brazil. So depending on the market that you are hitting, you may be more interested in showing some of this. And some countries you get better results if you have the certificates, because then they know that you are kind of like putting content that is mature or that is available for everyone. So I'm just going to go back to zero. That's it. Languages, by default, you're going to get English, but you can add any languages that you want. Obviously, you have to make certain that your game supports that. Don't say that, I don't know, you are supporting French, but you're not. And after that, you have something that is really important for me. That is the YouTube URL. So when you list your game in the Galaxy Store, the first space that you are going to find there in the screenshot section is going to be an image unless you give us a video. If you give us a video, that's the first thing that is going to appear when you go and check a game, when you check the detail of that game. And that is really important, because then the players are going to be able to see a little bit of the gameplay, or they're going to be able to see some of the promotional images that you want to share. So that's a great opportunity. And well, you do know that something that is a little bit more vibrant, more lively, is going to bring more attention to your game. So there's a better chance that you get better conversion there. So someone that visits the detail of your game is going to quite likely check this. And well, sometimes nowadays, especially, all of you are connecting via Twitch, so you guys know that you can create a small video, that it could be gameplay or it could be just almost anything else, and well, you can put it right here. Also, you're going to have a support email, so you're always going to have that, and that obviously goes, if someone has a complaint of your game, this is where it goes. And okay, so right now I'm not going to do that. Well, I'm going to say save, although right now pretty much it didn't say anything. Okay, complete. So we're going to go and check a little bit of a difference between the two accounts. So here I am just going to show you, this is where you upload the binary file. And this is something that you need to do before you get access to the in-app purchase tab that you have here. You cannot start working on your in-app purchase items unless you have already the binary file here. So I'm going to jump to my other account, the paid account, and I'm going to quickly set up this, and I'm just going to upload a binary here that I do know that works with the in-app purchase, and we're going to check that in a sec. So first thing that you need to do is to check what's going to be the resolution that is supported. So in this case, I'm just going to say all. It's just a demo. You have to say if you have any Google mobile services included in your game. In this case, I'm not going to say no, and I'm going to upload my IndieCade test. So it's going to take this APK that, again, it's something that you can generate with almost any gaming platform nowadays. And if you have any doubt specifically with Unity, we do have in the Samsung Developer Channel, YouTube channel, we have a video that shows you how to generate it. So like if you have any doubts how to do it, just go ahead and check that. And there's another video that also shows you how to integrate the in-app purchase SDK. So well, you hit save. Okay, perfect. Now, after that, you can go to country and region. And this is a big difference that you're going to find between the two accounts. So in this case, because this account, I already requested the seller status, I can say I'm going to do, this is going to be a paid game. And I can set up the price. So I don't know, I'm going to say $15. Somehow I'm really confident that people are going to pay $15. I don't know why, but sure, let's go with that. But if we go to the other account and I go to the same section, you are going to have the free option, because this is an account that I set up, well, pretty much for this demo, but I'm not going to be able to say that it's going to be paid. So that's one of the big things that I was telling you, that it's better to request the seller account, because obviously you cannot submit a game and you cannot start working on any of those parts of your game, of the submission of your game, unless you have the request approved. So this is one thing that you should take into consideration. Now, back into my paid account or my seller account, one thing that I would like to check, well, first, start publication. You can say that publish this game as soon as it passes certification. Or if you have some sort of like marketing effort, you want to go viral, you have a video ready, and you want this to be published by Halloween, somehow at midnight, then you can set up that. So if it passes the certification process before that, it's going to be just pretty much waiting and it's going to be available in the date that you specify over here. The other thing here is you have to say, yeah, US export laws. And now you can also say advanced. And this is something that is really important for international developers because with the advanced tab, you're going to be able to check the country and region and the prices for each one of them. So since we already kind of like gave a price that it was $15, it tries to kind of convert that to the different currencies in the different countries. But you could say like, hey, no one in Austria, for example, first one in the list, is going to pay 12.7 euros. So you could round it up and you could say like, hey, I'm going to charge 13. Yes, lucky 13, right? Or you could go down and say like 12. So that means that you can pretty much tinker with the different countries, with the different markets, and figure out what's the best option for you, for your game. And if you are focused on something in some market, for example, you're Swedish, and then you want to just offer a specific offer for Sweden just to kind of like get people going, you can say, hey, I'm going to only charge 50 kroner. Why? I don't know. Well, you're Swedish. You want to be nice to the Swedish people. Or you just can go and say, hey, in Peru, I'm just going to charge a different price, or in Colombia, or whatever it is. So you can do that. So I'm going to save that. This supposedly is complete. So now the thing is that I can go to the in-app purchase items. So I'm going to go back for a second to my slides to talk a little bit about the um, the in-app purchase SDK, and then we're going to go back and check this directly on the store. So right now, out of this publishing process that I was showing you a few minutes ago, we already check how to register in the seller portal, how to request our commercial status. Also, we're kind of like pretty much here, how to register the app, and then the in-app purchase item. So we're kind of like here in step number 3. So I already have some slides to walk around this, but we already kind of like saw that directly on the demo. So I don't think we have to go much more through that. So in-app purchase items. So what is in-app purchase item? So pretty much it's almost anything that you are going to charge for. So here you see already the little animation is kind of like trying to show you how to do that part. But let's suppose that you have power-ups. Let's suppose that you have customization of your characters, or you want to give paid access to a certain area in your game. That is what is going to be in a purchase item. So to do this, you will have to include the Samsung IP SDK, and afterwards you will have to register the items that you're going to sell, that it could be manually or in bulk. So we're going to check pretty much this, what the animation was showing me, directly on the Galaxy Store. So first thing, here at the top, you have the programming guide. So that's going to show you what is it that you need to put in your game to be able to make the calls for the SDK. And specifically, the last time that we created a video with the IAP, we created one with Unity. So we have a Unity plugin that you just install there. You just have to do a couple of things just to make certain that it's included in your game, and immediately you can start using that. And here in the programming guide is going to show you how to call the SDK. Then also you have an item registration guide that is going to show you all the little things that you have to do before you forget. And here, this is what I was telling you, that you can do it manually, so item by item, or item like bulk upload. So in the bulk upload, I'm just going to show that the thing that you're going to upload is a CSV file. So this is something that is a comma separated file, something that you can create with Excel, with a spreadsheet, or you can do it manually if you're confident on knowing what is it that you know, and you can download a CSV form. So it gives you like already the shape of the information that you need to upload. You can take it here so you know that it is, and you can upload pretty much hundreds of items. It just tells you like, yeah, if you upload more than 800, try to refresh because it could take a little bit of time to process the different items that you're uploading. Right now, I'm just going to add one item just to give you the general idea. You need to have an item ID. That is something you can use to identify the ID that a player is buying. So it could be pretty much anything that makes sense in your game. A title. So the super powerful ice uh, power up or whatever it is, access to the Hades region or whatever you want to do that. The item type. So the item type, so you can say that is one item, and then you can decide if it's going to be purchased multiple times. So for example, bombs, ammo, that's something that you can purchase without any problem. But something that, well, as many times as you want. So you would say like, yeah, that's going to be multiple times. But let's say access to one area in your game, or a customized option like a specific hat for Halloween, and something that quite likely you're only going to buy one time. So then you just say like this is only going to be like not multiple times. You can also say that this is going to be a subscription, and then you have a different information that you have to do here. And the subscription could be, well, pretty much your game could work just on a subscription level. So you could say, I'm going to charge you $1 every month to be able to play, so, or to be able to have access to the underground region. So then you do that here, and it's going to automatically uh, charge the players and the gamers everything that you have here. But right now, let's go back to an item. The description, again, whatever you need to put here. And again, you can also charge, say how much you charge the standard one, but also, just like how we were checking before, yes, that you can change the price by country, you can do that same thing here. So even payment method, you can change it. So if you want to change that for whatever reason that makes sense in your game, you can have that possibility here. So I'm just going to say cancel. Okay, so that's kind of pretty much how you would do the in-app purchase registration. If you have 20 items, you can put them all here. If you have 800, you can also do that there too. Now, right before you submit your game, it's going to tell you like, hey, uh, just enter any comments, like I said, to the review team. So, and you can even submit some upload. You can upload images or something like that. It's just that you have a limit for the attachment that you're going to submit here. So please don't send like a full video walkthrough of your game just to convince someone that that it works. And here, the entire point of this message is that if you want to make it easier for the review team, or if you want them to understand more what you were doing, then you can try to make it a little bit easier here and give them that information. So after that, you should be able to say submit. Quite likely, in my case, because I was just running through all this, it's going to tell you like, hey, I think you cannot do it because you are missing information, a lot of things. So, well, in this case, I didn't even give a title to the game. So yeah, it's going to tell you before you submit a little bit of a summary of where you're failing. So obviously you're not going to even get to the certification phase unless you comply with everything that is telling you here. But well, that depends a little bit on the game that you're creating. So that being said, the last thing that I have to mention for developers in terms of, well, show you just a little bit of how it would work if you are integrating the Samsung in-app purchase SDK in your game, then is that you have different operation modes. So you have the mode test, test failure, and the production. So production is kind of the last one that you should be thinking about, because that means that you're already going to charge to be able to, well, buy every item that you put there. But before that, you should be able to test. So you can test when things go right. So when there is going to be a connection with the Samsung Galaxy Store and the payment method works, uh, there is no problems with the connection, there was no rejection from your credit card or whatever it is. So then you can test when the operation is goes well. And also you can test what happens when there's a failure. So you can test, hey, like I don't know, somehow, let's say that the user, the player, has not set any payment method and is trying to buy something. So then you should be able to show like an error that says like, hey, please do this first, or this is the thing that the Galaxy Store is telling me. So you can test all those things before you jump into the production mode. And also, you can set beta testing, and you can even include different accounts that could do beta testing, so they would be able to go to the store, go to your game, and purchase different items directly from your game without being charged, so then they can do all the process of saying like, hey, well, is this working or not? And you can set that all up directly on the Galaxy Store when you're submitting your game. So this is pretty much the certification process. So you get the app registered, then it takes a pre-review, then goes live at the Galaxy Store, and then around 5 days it's being tested in the different stores. And after that, you're going to be live in the Galaxy Store. So the markets that you say that it's going to be deployed, then you're going to be able to see it there. So right now, after that moment, after you are live in the Galaxy Store, you have to market your games. And I think Shell is going to tell us a little bit about this, how to stand out in the Galaxy Store.
Thanks, Diego. So kind of just going back to what we already kind of talked about, but these are just different ways. As long as you're ensuring that your game has high quality graphics, is constantly you're making sure you're updating so there are no bugs, and just ensuring a quality app, you'll have a better chance of being selected to be featured in our different marketing campaigns. Like right now, we're doing a Halloween promotion. So if you had any sort of seasonal update, that would be a way to be featured in that. We are always manually curate the content collections, and so that's another way of standing out. And then also these promotions, like when we looked at the promotion tab, if you have any sort of exclusive offers specific to Samsung devices, that's another way to be featured and spotlighted.
After that, also, well, you have to start marketing and promoting your indie game, right? One of the biggest things that you're going to have with any game or any app in general is how to get people to download your game and start promoting that. So one of the many things that we give you is access to this thing that is called the badge link. So it's going to be generated in your website and social media. You can put it pretty much to point to people to download on your game. So then you can go and put it directly. Well, quite likely you should create, if you don't have, a website and listing all the games that you have. In this particular case, you say like, hey, it's available in the Galaxy Store, and immediately this one is going to point to the listing directly in the Galaxy Store. The other cool thing about this badge is that you also are going to get information. You're going to get information on how many people are clicking on that and how effective it is. So then that way you can react and try to promote it in different ways and see where people are coming from. Additionally, if you request, if you talk with us pretty much, and that's one of the main reasons that we're telling you like, hey, come to the booth, talk with us, try to set up a one-on-one meeting with us, is that you can request to be featured in a collection. And right now we're putting together a collection for the indie games in this event, and in general for indie games that we think that should be highlighted. And that's the kind of thing that you should qualify, and we should be able to how to help you to promote those things. It's one of the many things that we do in the Samsung Developer Program. And finally, well, connect with us. We have a presence pretty much in all social media. So if by any chance you're not interested right now, but a month from now you want to connect with us on Facebook or LinkedIn or YouTube, you have a lot of videos that you can check there. So just go ahead and connect with us. And that kind of like is the content for the main presentation. And apart from that, thank you very much. And I hope that you enjoy IndieCade and that you have a great day.